Greg Ehrenberg here from Odd Shopper, and it is time to break down Saturday night's UFC card, one that's a pretty highly anticipated rematch in between Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards. This time it's for the middleweight title. They fought years ago. It's actually the last time that Leon Edwards lost. Usman, no losses in the UFC, but UFC 278, it's going to be a good one. So like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and leave a comment below. Let me know whatever it is that you guys are betting on for this card, because if any of those bets win, I'm going to be giving away some prizes, including a free subscription to our premium betting Discord. I tried to give away stuff last week, but nobody commented in the chat. Nobody left bets. So if you want a chance to win free stuff, it only takes 1 second. You just have to leave a comment below. It also helps me. It helps us in the YouTube algorithm in terms of directing more people to the video. So leave a comment below. Helps out a whole bunch. Also, I'm going to have an offer for you guys to get $200 for free from our sponsor. So more on that in a second. But first, these are my favorite bets for Saturday night's card. For my first bet of this slate, I'm going with Jared Gordon plus 200 to win inside the distance. Now, all of the bets I have this week are prop bets, and they're all plus money plays. So there are ones that I like, but one thing about this card, there are so many big, significant favorites that it's kind of hard to just bet the money lines outright because, you know, we got these fighters like minus 360, minus 380. Some fighters all the way up to Tyson Pedro is currently sitting at nearly minus 800 favorite against Harry Hunsucker, depending what books you look at. Some places minus 835, some places minus 750. So we got some really big favorites. So I can just give out minus 600, minus 700 money line favorites. So I'm trying to look at some prop odds to bring you guys some better value. Also, something I did last week, I bet 3 props. Only one of those 3 won, but the one that did hit was plus 215. Chito Vera to win inside the distance against Dominic Cruz. So overall, it was a slightly positive betting slate. And once again, I've got 3 bets here. They're all going to be plus money props. And that starts with Jared Gordon plus 200 to win inside the distance. And the key here for me, it's just the matchup against Leonardo Santos, who I think he's washed. There was a point in time where he was a really solid fighter. He's really good ground game, really good jiu-jitsu black belt. But at now well over the age of 40, he is 42 years old, born in February of 1980. I just don't think he has the cardio to last long in fights, which is what we saw in his last couple of fights, actually. So 2 fights ago against Grant Dawson, he got finished with a second left in the 3rd round. He ended up getting finished on the mat, and he'll look decent early on in a lot of his fights. And then just because of his age, he starts to fade as the fight goes on. His last time out against Clay Guida, he looked great in the 1st round against Guida. He had a knockdown. It looked like he was close to finishing the fight. And then what happens? He gasses and gets finished himself in the 2nd round. Not only did he get finished, he got submitted by Clay Guida. And, you know, Leonardo Santos at 42 years old, 10 years ago, there's no chance Clay Guida submits him. But at this point in his career, it's just hard for him to last 3 full rounds. And that's what brings me to Jared Gordon on the other side, because Gordon himself is a solid fighter. He has some good metrics, especially in terms of striking output. We see Jared Gordon lands 5.24 significant strikes per minute, only absorbs 3.2. He's a very aggressive wrestler and grappler, lands 2.2 takedowns per 15 minutes. I guess there's some case to be made that Santos could be dangerous in the 1st round, but if it makes it outside of the 1st round, this fight is going to be all Jared Gordon, and I really like his chances to finish Santos almost by exhaustion. It's kind of similar to what we saw in his last fight against Clay Guida. It was, you know, 1 round of cardio, had 5 minutes and then it gassed. And then you consider the kind of pace that Jared Gordon is capable of putting on other fighters. I think he's just going to overwhelm Santos and eventually finish him just really with cardio and his striking and wrestling output. So that's my first bet of the slate, Jared Gordon plus 200 to win inside the distance. Today's show is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. If you guys haven't signed up to DraftKings yet, I have a great offer for you, because DraftKings is going to give you $200 for free when you sign up for the first time. This is all you have to do. Click on the link in the description box below. You head on over to DraftKings, bet $5 on any bet for the UFC this weekend, and they're going to give you $200. That's it. That's all you need to do. This is a no-brainer offer. If you're betting on UFC this weekend and you've not yet signed up at DraftKings, don't pass up on an offer for $200 for free. We've had a bunch of different offers across the YouTube channel in different videos, and these are the kind of offers that don't typically last, because is what happens is the sports books, they have these events or like UFC, or they have something like NFL opening day weekend, and then after those weekends pass, they take this offer down. So you want to take advantage of this while you possibly can. It's hard to make money in sports betting, but it's not hard to collect free money. So sign up, click on the link in the description box below, and get your $200 for free from DK Sportsbook. The next bet I'm looking at, it is Merab Dvalishvili to win by decision plus 150. This is actually one of the only fights on the card that's lined fairly close. The majority of them have very lopsided odds. So just the money line odds in this, it's minus 140 for Merab, plus 120 for Jose Aldo is the comeback on the other side. But when I look at Merab, this guy is a cardio machine. I've never seen him even get remotely tired, and he might be indestructible. If you guys watched his last fight where he was taking on Marlon Moraes, Moraes drops him in the first round, hurts him really bad, and Merab just recovers, 30 seconds later, looked like he was dead, comes back to life, ends up putting just a crazy pace on Moraes, and just basically exhausts him to the point where Moraes isn't able to continue. And then we've always known that Marlon, prior to retiring, was a guy who really was a 1 or 2 round fighter. Beyond that, he just didn't have anything left in the tank. Now, the fight in between Merab and Jose Aldo, I really think it goes one of 2 ways. I think if Jose Aldo wins, he's probably finishing Merab inside the distance and finishing off the job that Moraes wasn't able to. Or if Merab wins, I think it's going to decision. Jose Aldo is very durable. We very rarely see him get finished. The last time he did get finished was against Peter Yan, and that was a 5-round fight where by the time we got to the 5th round, Yan was just able to overwhelm Jose Aldo, but Aldo looked good in the first few rounds of that fight. And then the only other times that we've seen him finish in the UFC by Max Holloway, and then the really quick knockout against Conor McGregor. But in general, Jose Aldo's been an extremely durable fighter over the course of his career. Not only does he rarely get finished, he rarely even gets hurt in his fights, and Merab is not exactly a potent finisher. While he did have that one finish over Marlon Moraes, it was really more just so because Moraes got tired after trying to finish Merab. That was the only time that Merab's won a fight inside the distance in the UFC. His other wins, Cody Stamann, John Dobson, Gustavo Lopez, Casey Kenny, Brad Katona, Terrion Ware, those were all decision wins for Merab. So that's really what I'm expecting here, is that he's just going to put a crazy pace on Jose Aldo that Aldo isn't going to be able to keep up with. Like I said, there is some equity in Aldo potentially winning by finish, but I think the most likely outcome here is going to be Merab by decision. He lands at a much higher output than Jose Aldo, 4.26 significant strikes per minute to 3.61 for Aldo. And then the wrestling output, Merab lands 7.3 takedowns per 15 minutes. And while Aldo does have really good takedown defense, if this fight is just going to take place with Merab pushing him up against the fence, working, and then Jose Aldo trying to defend takedowns, there's not going to be any room for Jose Aldo to generate offense of his own. So I also think there's a path where Merab just ends up playing this really safe, wins in the clinch, and isn't able to take Aldo down. But those would still be rounds that I think go towards Merab. So I think he's a really good round-winning fighter in the UFC because of his pressure, his wrestling output, his striking output. There's nobody else that has better cardio than Merab. You could say that there's some guys like a Kamaru Usman who's maybe an equivalent in the cardio department to Merab, but overall, this is one of the highest paced fighters we've ever seen in the UFC. So I like him to win by decision. It's a plus money bet at plus 150. I like those odds. So that's my second bet for the Saturday's card. So to recap, my 3 bets for this Saturday's card, all plus money plays: Jared Gordon plus 200 to win inside the distance, Merab Dvalishvili plus 150 by decision, and then finally Miranda Maverick plus 165 by submission. So those are my favorite bets, but what do you guys have money on? Let me know below in the comment section. Also, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget to sign up over at DraftKings using our promo code, or clicking on the link in the description box below, I should say, because they're going to give you $200 for free when you place $5 bet on any UFC fight for this weekend. And it's free money. Don't pass up the chance for free bucks. It's the easiest way to make money in sports betting. Other than that, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoy the fights, and good luck this weekend.